Top of the morning, y'all. We got some interesting stuff to talk about today, such as why is China rushing to move their citizens out of Israel right now as we speak? It's about to go down, y'all. China's getting their citizens out of Israel faster than David Duke on a Carnival cruise. It is wild to watch. And let me tell you something, before we start, the media is not talking about this, but July 1st of 2025, thanks to some new fancy banking rules, gold is going to be treated as a Tier 1 asset. That means it's right up there with cash and treasuries. Translation, gold is money again. And in the first quarter alone, Trump moved thousands of tons of gold back from Europe and other places to the USA again. If they're stacking gold like ammo for deer season, then so should we be. And I'm not talking about stock tips or crypto dreams, right? I'm talking about protecting your retirement, your savings, and your future. And that's why I tell folks that I work with Allegiance Gold, because they're the only ones that I know that can help you actually hold it physically, like shipped right to your front door. So go to protectwithbuddy.com or call the number below. I'm going to put the link down there. Qualified purchases get up to $5,000 in free metals. Go visit them right there below. So if China is doing an emergency evacuation for Israel right now, y'all think someone's been tipped off? Yeah, I think so. Look, this is really crazy because just a little reminder, U.S. intelligence has already warned Trump that Israel's going to hit their facilities this year. And they're probably going to be acting alone because Trump knows that if the USA gets involved, it's going to tear up the Middle East like wrapping paper on Christmas morning. Y'all know what I'm saying? What I can't believe, though, is how nobody in the U.S. media is ever allowed to ask the questions we always want to ask. We're not supposed to question the fact that CNN never covered any of Trump's 96 rallies in 2024 except for the one in Butler, PA. But CNN was there, weren't they? And we weren't supposed to ask any questions about that. We're not supposed to ask any questions about why was George W. Bush's brother working for a security company for the World Trade Centers. Not supposed to ask it. And now we're not supposed to ask why China's getting all their citizens out of Israel. Right? I mean, over here, if you look at this video, this is one of the panic flights that's been happening the last few days of the citizens all leaving Israel right now. And if you look, they're all Chinese citizens, every single one of them. So what does China know? Obviously, China and Iran are good buddies, so I'm pretty sure they got tipped off, aren't you? And, their whole prized nuclear buildings, if they get hit, I'm just saying, there's mushrooms coming. And I ain't talking about the ones you find out here in the woods. So on top of all these Chinese flights getting their citizens out of there, China has also issued a major travel advisory to avoid Israel at all costs. They've got the orange zones and they've got what they call red zones, reds being the worst. Reds being labeled extremely dangerous zones, and they just changed that like 4 days ago. So that is very interesting, y'all. Now let's switch to Bible prophecy for a second, because this is where I get kind of excited. Bad news equals good news for Christians. Remember that. Okay, when it all lines up, it just confirms that we're in the last days and that we should be excited about this. So what if all this is happening, not to start a war, but something more sinister? What if all of this is happening to begin the worldwide boycott on Israel? And it starts with tourism, as y'all know. It starts with tourism, and then it leads to isolation, and then it goes to all-out war. Revelation 16 highlights the world's growing animosity towards Israel, if you read this. And with all the nations that just start getting, they gather against Jerusalem is what happens. And this part is, quote, making Jerusalem the cup that causes reeling. Reeling means like staggering or causing you to be drunk or off balance. Jerusalem is causing the world to be kind of staggered and a little bit off balance. Does that make sense? So look, I believe there's good Jews, which are Messianic Jews, the ones that accept Christ. And not all of them are, excited about every single one of their government's moves. Y'all understand what I'm saying? And then there's also the ones that the Bible calls the fake Jews, which is Revelation chapter 3, verses 9. God actually calls these Jews the synagogue of Satan, which these are the people that say they're Jews, but they're not. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. So these are the Jews that are screaming at Christians every time we go over to Israel on a pilgrimage. They're cursing at us. They're throwing rocks at us. Happens all the time. Look it up. There's a bunch of videos on it. And look, as far as how this is going to play out, I believe that Israel very may well hit Iran's nuclear facilities in the next few weeks. I also believe Trump is going to stand back and try to let them just handle that on their own. And then, of course, this could be the isolation, which leads to the Ezekiel 38 battle. And y'all thought this was going to be a boring summer. Hope you enjoyed this one today. I try to make these videos sound like a conversation between two old men getting their breakfast sausage biscuit at a gas station at about 5:30 in the morning. That's how we talk. Y'all be good. See you soon.